What's up, bud?
How's it going, my friend?
Good, good. Finally, it's great to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too, man. I know we had some cancellations, some movements with the podcast,
Mhm.
but now we're here, man.
We're here. We're here. Absolutely. So let's get the ball rolling and see
Uh,
what we have to talk about.
Absolutely, man. I gotta say though, I love the tattoo though on your neck. Like I think it's like partly on your neck and then on your chest.
Yeah, yeah. I have one that says one life, one love, one soul.
I love it. Kind of like the whole Bob Marley thing kind of going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it came from.
Nice, man. Yeah. So how I think last time we talked, we were talking. We were trying to get the interview together here. You said that you were on like some kind of like vacation, or
Yeah, I'm here in Miami right now. I'm enjoying it. It's really beautiful and it's very lenient here. It's other than LA, everything is strict there, and also in Arizona too as well. But I love it. It's awesome. Got to enjoy the beach. Being from Hawaii, I miss it. Moving out to Sedona, you don't really have the beach out there, so I'm soaking it in as much as possible.
yeah, yeah. So it must be pretty nice and warm, and
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, I can give you a tour in a bit. I'm not too sure how good the reception is within the building.
yeah, yeah. No, the last time that happened with somebody on the podcast, I'm trying to think. I think it was oh God, who was it? Anthony or last name Taylor, Pretty Boy Taylor.
Anthony?
Anthony, yes. I
Yeah.
tried to do that and it just totally cut out. And I was like, dude, I can't hear you. And it was just like, it was, so he had to go back up to his apartment.
Zero.
Yeah, just like the whole thing just went, whack. Yeah, it's good, man. So like, is the weather in Hawaii, how nice is it there? Is it kind of the same thing in Florida, or how would you,
Yeah, it's actually really similar. The weather in Hawaii is like tropical storms and stuff. So they have tropical storms here too as well, but it's very similar. Um, some places here they have really good surf. I haven't experienced any surf yet.
no?
I'm looking forward to it. We had a great time yesterday out on the boat. It was beautiful, a wonderful day. I'm still paying for it though. Too much 1942 last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, had a great time though, but it was worth it. It was really worth it for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, let's kind of get started here. So, actually, I kind of want to start at the beginning. What got you into MMA in the first place?
What uh, actually it was my friend. My friend he asked me, he was like, "Look, I got a fight coming up soon, and I was wondering if you wanted to hop on the same card as me, and I can get you hooked up with it." And at that moment, it was called Just Scrap in Hawaii, and that show was promoted by the Penn family, BJ Penn and his family,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, so they hosted a lot of fights there, and that sparked where I was like, you know what, this is amazing. I could put all the skills that I have into that and
hmm
enjoy it. And I've been fighting ever since. Ever since.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's kind of got their whole backstory to how they got into it. So, like, when you said that you got into like this fight, did you have any prior like skill before that? Like, did you have any fight
Oh,
background?
well, fighting on the street, yeah. Fighting on the street, growing up in Hawaii. I mean, there was a few bullies in the school, and I had to defend myself growing up a lot of times. Um, I actually got into training because I had a lot of health issues. I had like really bad asthma, seizures, and all those things. A lot of it kept me from participating in school sports, PE and stuff. And I was pissed. I was pissed because I couldn't participate,
Mm.
and I had to figure out something. And I went to the library every recess, and I picked up this book, and it was a Eddie Bravo book. It was 10th Planet.
Oh, Eddie Bravo, yeah.
Yeah, and uh, that sparked the interest in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking the knowledge that I had from the books every day and applying it in training at the Penn Academy, Penn Fitness and Training in Hilo. And that helped me in so much ways where I overcame my asthma, I overcame uh, had claustrophobia. I was like really I didn't want to be around crowds or anything like that, and it helped me. It helped me break that because jiu-jitsu, you're either in some submission or you're rolling around with someone, you know, and that helped me exceed the medical issues that I had then. But after that, I got into fighting 2009, and
Yeah.
now I'm fighting professionally, and I'm at a very high level, fighting against high level people, and I couldn't be more happy. You know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the martial science and the things that I've learned to help me. You know, help me in all aspects of life, not just my health, but building character. You know, and the way I carry myself, and being a teacher and also a student at the same time. It just helps. It helps in so many ways. We could be more grateful for that.
Well, and I love the fact that they're getting kids younger and younger getting into like things like like jiu-jitsu, and I think it's great. I
Yeah.
think there's some people that look at it as, excuse me. I think
Okay.
some people look at it as like some people look at it as a bad thing. Like, oh, you want to teach kids how to fight and they're not fully developed, their brains aren't fully developed. It's like, yeah, but I think what people miss the point of is that it builds character. It
Of course.
builds character and builds discipline. You know,
Absolutely.
and BJJ I think is one of the sports that really develops that. Like for myself, I did Shotokan for a number of years, and it really does. You learn respect. You know, you don't just go pop someone. You know, and you learn your fighting, but you learn how to control it too. So you don't just say, "Oh, I learned just got my white belt. I'm gonna go kick some ass." You know, like there's
Right.
respect, right?
Right.
And so I think it's great that I think that's people need to see mixed martial arts more than what it is. Like people look at it as it's like fighting, and like I remember watching an interview about how when MMA kind of started to become a big thing, and people will say, "Oh, it's just a bunch of brawlers. It's just a bunch of guys that are just don't have anything better to do." And it's like, no, like I mean, these guys are athletes. These guys are high level athletes. These guys got to cut weight. They got to train to cut weight. You know, they got to make it to the fight. They got to do the fight, and they got to fight the fight. And
exactly.
Yeah, so it's really nice hearing you say that kind of stuff. But anyway, like so, talking about your fights, so you haven't fought since December of 2019. So what?
Yeah.
With the layoff? I mean, obviously we have the COVID. So whatever happened there?
Yeah. I mean, it's not really a situation at all. I've been talking to a manager lately, and
Yeah,
we were reaching out to Bellator, LFA as well. I did fight in LFA. That's a great promotion.
it is.
I don't know. We'll see from my manager soon. But I'm happy. I'm happy that I have this time right now to reflect on everything, all the holes in my game. You know, jiu-jitsu. I started off, that's the thing, that I ended up losing my last fight because of a silly freaking rear naked choke. And I should know better how to defend that, which I do. You know, I have all those things in my bag of trick. I mean, all the things I need to know to defend myself and not be put in that situation. And it shed some light on the areas where I needed to work on more, you know, and be more in tune with as a mixed martial artist, because your MMA is mixed martial arts, you know, and I didn't apply jiu-jitsu in it. I love starting on the feet and just having a great scrap, you know, and some people are once they feel the power and the strength that I have, they're quick to take me down, you know, and that's part of the game. So I fixed a lot of that lately. I've been training a lot of jiu-jitsu lately, and just putting everything together. I mean, that's not going to happen again at all. You know, I'm not going to have someone on my back or try and take me down. If not, I'm going to stop it with a knee or uppercut. So that's something that's going to work in my favor in the next fight. But we'll see. You know, we'll see what promotion my manager is reaching out to. I haven't really contacted him about like a month. So we'll see after this year. I'm sure 2021 is going to be a great experience and new opportunities coming my way. You know?
So, and kind of bringing back to your whole idea about when people feel your power, they try to take you down. So I think, like, looking at fans' perspective, do you ever get upset when you're in a fight where you want to bring the fight and then someone's just trying to take you down the whole time? Does that get really frustrating?
Yeah, it does. It does. You know, and like I said, if you have the tools and the skill set to stop that from happening, then you'll be able to. The fight will be in your favor. You know, it'd be in your game. But it does. It gets really frustrating. I used to hate fights that fighters would just take you down, and took up the whole fight. You know, I'm like, that's not a good show. It's not what the fans are paying for.
No.
Just see you hugging each other out on the ground, you know. But yeah, if you get into the chess part of it, you know, like everyone, like every teacher that I've met and spoke to, everything comes back to a chess match, and that's how it is. If you're really good with your skill set and your opponent as well, then it could be a very interesting fight, or it could be a very boring fight. And I'm not about the boring fights. That's not me. I like to put on the show. I like to stand and bang. I mean, everyone in Hawaii, we like to say that a lot. You know, just stand up and scrap. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Back home.
So I guess, like, now that you kind of talked to me about what your plans are for 2021, so I guess what really inspires you to fight? Like, what is it that drives you?
A lot of my friends and family. I have a lot of fans, and people look up to me, you know, and back home, that's the thing that motivates me and inspires me. You know, it's the people that come and watch you, and your family, your friends. That's what matters. That's the thing that gives you that drive to. It feels like people have your back. You know, like you going in with an army, and that's how it feels for me. That's what inspires me the most. That part.
Well, here's the real question. What inspires you about those tattoos?
All these tattoos. This is actually, like, I don't know. It's an addiction, I guess. For sure. My wife, she's like, you got to stop getting tattoos. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I'm thinking of getting me another one soon. She was like, no, don't do that. I was like, I don't know. I like it. I tell a story in each one of my tattoos. Like this one here, it says "No Panic" on my arm, and my friend came up with that back home in Hawaii. He actually just he's getting out of the hospital right now. He was shot to his head, and that was during a fight on the street, and he's a really good boxer. The guy was afraid, and he ended up shooting my friend to his head. So I got that tattoo on my arm because he used to say it all the time. And he used to tell me all the time, no panic, just don't panic at all. So I got those tattoos, and then these 2 roses on my arm, that's for my friend and my sister that passed away. So there's a lot of story to some of these tattoos. Some was just wrong choices, but
Well, my condolences. And yeah, and I think like people need to be careful, because I think the problem is, and I had the discussion with a couple of the boys, like the idea about people applying MMA to street fights is so dangerous. I mean, if you put yourself, if I use you in this example, obviously you're going to be able to know how to defend yourself in the street. Someone's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at you. You're going to know how to counter. You're going to know how to defend yourself. I think, but the problem is like people who, for example, are one-dimensional fighters or one-dimensional specialists. So if you could take someone, and I've had this conversation with someone before, actually, someone that I do train with, he told me a story about him using his BJJ with someone on the street. And it was a couple of his buddies. He took the one guy down, had him on the ground, but then the problem is the other guy came on booting him in the face and he got jumped. And I think the problem is like people need to, and it's not just people. If you have the experience and you're able to apply it in a street fight, that's great. But people, unfortunately, because MMA is becoming such a big sport, people are picking up the little things they see on TV, and now they're able to kind of have a little bit of an edge to the fight too, and it's just so dangerous. I mean, you talk about being the guy freaked out and didn't know what to do, so he shot your friend. Like, it's dangerous. I mean, people. I mean, at least for in Canada, because we don't really have the whole open gun law, but all it takes is someone's getting their ass beaten and they panic and they pull a knife on you. I mean, I don't know about you, but fuck, like if someone pulls a knife on me, it's not worth using my boxing on them.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. I try and avoid fights. I try avoid going to bars and stuff. I'm not a really big fan of it at all. Because we are registered, that is just going to look very bad on our part, especially in our profiling. A lot of people will definitely profile us because of that. And yeah, it's pretty stressful. I mean, but that's discipline. That's the discipline in mixed martial arts. You can be out there and be like, hey, you know what, take a few steps back and let's just talk it out. That's the discipline and knowing what you can do, what you're able to do. But yeah, it's really dangerous. I wouldn't recommend anyone fighting on the street at all. Back home in Hawaii that I used to train with, and they used to train with me all the time. If they were training with me, there was one rule: was not to fight or pick a fight or fight on the street, and always get your work done. Go to school and finish school, and that's the main thing that mattered to me. And if they followed that rule, then they were able to train with me. But as soon as I saw that there was some hot-headed kid in the group, then I'll pull him to the side and be like, look, it's just, you're probably having a bad day, because people have bad days, and then they bring it into training, and then they take it out of training, and then they have a street fight, and that's something that I don't agree with at all. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember like with my own sensei, he said like if I ever find out that you're using your karate in like some kind of school fight or whatever, you're gonna get in a lot of shit. So, you're gonna be in a lot of you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. So, it's interesting. I mean, just you got to be careful these days, and I agree with you. That's why I don't like going to the bar, because you just get someone that gets too drunk and just and all it takes is they push your buttons, and I like to kind of keep my reputation, so
Of course, absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, I was bullied, like I said earlier. I was bullied in school, and I didn't apply any of the things that I learned into that bully kind of like push my buttons, and I had to defend myself. But I didn't throw the first punch unless he did. I mean, sorry, I didn't ever hit them unless I was hit first.
Right.
That's just the rules of defending yourself. That's self-defense. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been picked on ever since, though. For sure.
Well, you tell
For
them.
sure.
And now, just kind of moving forward. So, like, you got fellow Hawaiian, IIima Lei Macfarlane. If that's how you say her name. I'll never get it right, I'm sure. But she's fighting. What's her name? Something Velasquez.
Yeah, Velasquez,
Juliana Velasquez, I think.
Juliana.
At,
Yep, that's her.
for Bellator 254. So, I mean, her being a fellow Hawaiian, are you going to be tuning in for that fight, or are you going to be watching her fight?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I watch the fights all the time.
Yeah.
I never used to be honest. I started doing it more because just studying my opponents, my future opponents,
Yeah.
and that that gives me more time to be prepared just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I hate sitting around watching fights because, like I said, some fights can be boring, some fights can be really quick and entertaining. But after a while, I got kind of used to it. My wife was like, all of a sudden, you're watching a lot of fights now. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's part of the game and what I have to do. That's the homework for me. That's the homework for me. But yeah, I support all the Hawaii fighters that are fighting, and I'm happy that we are still continuing the Hawaiian wave. That's what they call it. And yeah, I mean, the more exposure. I mean, BJ Penn put Hawaii on the map for sure,
100%.
and that's what I think started everything for a lot of mixed martial artists out there.
Absolutely.
Max Holloway and
Mm-hmm.
Toby Mishek, a lot more fighters.
Yeah.
IIima.
Yeah. Well, and I think good, and I know Max Holloway has mentioned that he's always wanted the UFC to come to Hawaii so badly, and I don't know if Bellator ever has, but it would be nice to have more promotions come to Hawaii and get that exposure there and really expand the fan base there. Because as far as I can see, his reputation is very high there.
Of course.
A lot of Hawaiian fighters, like, very, very patriotic there, and it would be nice to see more of that, the exposure in Hawaii for sure.
I agree 100%. And that's like I said, if the sooner the possible, I mean, that I can get a fight, I'll definitely put where I'm from on the map.
Mm-hmm.
There's neighbor islands. Max is from Oahu. IIima, I believe she's from Oahu too as well.
Mm.
I'm from the Big Island, so it's a neighbor island. But that's an island that BJ Penn is from. He's from Hilo. I'm from a different district. I'm from Pohoa. So to put that place on the map, that would be great. I'm already doing it. I'm already manifesting it. And like I said, the ball rolling.
Yeah. Just kind of go back to that fight. What's your thoughts on that matchup? Do you know, like?
That was a very last minute fight.
Yeah.
To be honest, and honestly, I've been taking a lot of last minute fights. I mean, who wouldn't want to fight for Bellator or LFA? And all those fights were like a couple days before my fight, and a lot of weight cut was in there. Like it was in a day I lost 15 pounds, and that the matchup was okay, and that was going to be all right with me on my previous fight because I knew I was going to be coming in stronger than my opponent because I'm taller, I have a longer reach and stuff, and that was going to be in my favor. But like I said, once they feel how strong I am, they start to take me down, and I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
you guys are too afraid. But that's not going to happen again at all.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, man. And I just wanted to let you finish there, but I was actually asking you about your thoughts on the matchup with Macfarlane and her.
I was already talking about my fight. So the matchup between them, I can see that she's a really good striker. I don't know too much about her ground game, I'm talking about Velasquez.
Yeah.
Is that her name? Velasquez?
Yeah, Velasquez. Yeah, Juliana
Yeah.
Velasquez.
So yeah, I'm not too sure how great of a BJJ person she is, but
Yeah.
if if IIima takes it down to the ground, it's definitely gonna be a win for her. She's gonna definitely,
Oh my God, yeah.
take the win on that. But standing up, Velasquez is a really good striker. I was watching. Yeah, she's phenomenal.
And
And
it's one of those fights where, I mean, you got to look at it like, what happens if Lima can't get a hold of her and take her down? Because obviously, I think it's no secret that Juliana is going to want to kind of keep her distance and pick her off, and not want to be taken to the ground, unless if she's got that confidence. She's like, yeah, bitch, let's go to the ground,
right,
But if not, I mean, geez, I mean, that might be a tough fight, and that's kind of, it reminds me a lot of uh, what's her name? It was Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey. I mean, Ronda's ground game was unbelievable. I mean, you get a
oh
hold
yeah,
of you, and it's like there's nothing that, like, that there's a good possibility once she gets you in the ground, it's all over. Um, but it kind of reminds me of that fight where she just couldn't get a hold of Holly. Now I don't know about this matchup so much about what distance, but I know Holly was a lot longer, taller, so that it was probably a lot harder for her to get to close that distance. But I mean, that's kind of how I see this fight too, how that could play out.
exactly.
What happens if she can't get a hold of her and she doesn't have the stand up to be able to work her way in? I mean, I think that's probably something that they are working on. I mean, I don't think she's stupid to not think of that. But
Right.
those are two really good possibilities. But I think, yeah, if Lima gets her on the ground or is on the ground with her, I don't know. I mean, she has that ability to wrap you up and get you. And
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was thinking the same thing, but she does have a really very very good camp, IIima, and yeah, their camp is phenomenal, and I'm sure she's gonna cover all areas in that part. But like I said, if it goes to the ground, then it'll be in her favor. But if it's standing up, then it's definitely gonna go to Velasquez.
Now, kind of just moving forward here, a little bit. Lastly, here, so what does it mean to be a fighter?
What it means to me to be a fighter,
In your words, yeah.
my words for it.
I know I kind of threw you on the spot there.
No, it's fine. To me, honestly, it's like the competitiveness, I guess, that it's back to building character. And I used to always tell a lot of the students that I trained with that there's a big difference between an athlete and a mixed martial artist. Mixed martial artist, he's in competition with a lot more other mixed martial arts, like different martial science and stuff. Being an athlete, though, you're in competition with being the next poster boy, poster girl, and being the next star boy or Conor McGregor. That's the athletic part of it, and everyone tries to be the best on that part. For me, I want to be the best, kind of like Ip Man, fighting different styles and knowing that I can hold my own against a different style with the knowledge that I have and the skills that I have. But for me, it's about building character and having a stronger foundation and knowing all these things that I know and having the tools to provide for other people, my students and myself as well. But yeah, that's for me as a MMA fighter for sure. I don't know. That's it.
And I guess lastly, so you talk about 2021, and so let's say things go your way and you get some contracts, or you find a promotion that's going to sign you. So what kind, like, how many fights would you prefer next year? Would you like 2, 3,
Oh my
4?
god. more than that. If I can fight as much as possible within a month, then I'll do that. But in a year, probably like 10 fights or
Shit. Okay.
more. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm definitely shooting for the stars, and I want to compete as much as possible because I know next year is going to be a very good year for me. And it's going to help me no matter what on my resume, as a fighter. And the more numbers, the more fights you have, the more promotions obviously reach out to you. And that's the thing. So yeah, as much as possible.
Well, it's good to hear. That's great to hear, man. Well, sir, I just want to thank you for taking your time to come on the podcast, man. You've been nothing but a pleasure being on here, and good luck with everything in 2021, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure meeting you.